make sure my charger can reach. Hold on.
And we laugh and we love bloopers moments. So
Yeah. Whatever. My charger, it'll be fine.
hey y'all, here's another episode of Bonafide Her Podcast featuring the one and only Elijah Bonsignore.
Yeah. Poor city, poor city, poor city. What's happening?
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Ash. How are you?
We blessed, we alive, we here, we blessed. Another
That's
day,
it.
another blessing, another dollar. Hello.
That's it.
So let's get started. So Elijah, can you tell like your sports story to how you got to where you are?
Um, I guess it starts in Wilmington, where I was born and raised. Um, Tough town, tough crowd, but builds resilient, tough people. My dad, I remember we when I first started showing a liking to basketball, he had his biggest thing, which I'm sure you can understand, Michael Jordan. Laney High School, A. He gave me this VHS tape of I believe the 1996 run when they won the championship, and I think I played that thing till it broke. Like it was kind of like The Last Dance, but not so in depth on what was going on. And from there, on a Fisher Price court, I would practice my fadeaways and trying to emulate him. To then getting a little older, going to Brigade Boys and Girls Club, and they couldn't bring me inside. I stayed outside on the outdoor courts. I always kept the basketball in my hand. And from there, I ended up moving to Delaware with my mother to take care of my great grandmother. And I got into the City of Dover, Delaware League basketball. And that's kind of where I figured out where I'm not that bad. I'm pretty decent. Like, I wasn't the best player. They would probably say I was at that time, but like for my age, I was scoring 25 points. And I didn't understand really what that meant. I just liked basketball. Up and down. I really didn't understand the science of it, the defense, the how you getting the help man and all of that. I was just hooping. Real raw. Um, and then as I got to middle school, I never really played middle school basketball up until moving back to Wilmington. Me and my friend Teron Short and Mo, my brother Mo, we would be outside, and we back then it was like and one, so we out there trying to make people fall and spin in circles, carrying, traveling, doing everything. And everybody were like, "Yo, you should try out for the basketball team," and I'm like, "What? Like, nah, I'm not trying out." And me and Mo both said, "All right, if you try, I'll try out," and we went and tried out. And Mo didn't end up making it for other reasons because all of the people that didn't make the team that year, except me, we came back with Mr. Hansborough, new coach, and all the people that didn't make the team the year prior made the team, and we still got I think the best record that they've had at that middle school. And from there, I went to Ashley High School for 1 year and or 2 years. Freshman year was an eye opener. It was a lot tougher than I had anticipated. We went to the UNCW little jamboree during the summer league, and that's where I met CJ Caldwell. I met Tyler Farias, me, Mo, Micah Allen, Pat Hayes. All of us went to middle school together, so we all came up to Ashley as well. And I had my first heartbreak in sports was I was a freshman, but they call freshmen up to varsity after the JV season's over.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Cooper pulled me in his office. He was like, "You ain't make it." Now to me, I'm like, how? Like how? They ended up calling my best friend Micah Allen up, so I wasn't tripping. I'm like, all right, cool. Like it is what it is. And I just said next year I'm gonna be better. Now a lot of people don't know this. That summer, I left. I said, I'm through with Ashley. I'm going to move back with my mom. And I moved to Caesar Rodney High School. Um, and first time at Caesar Rodney, I'm thinking I'm definitely about to start. And I know all these guys. I went to middle school with them. We played in City of Dover League together, and they brought in a new kid. I can't remember his name, but I baptized him on the first move to the basket. I put him in the rim, and I'm like, oh, this is it. Like, I'm good. Coach came to me and was like, hey, if you try out for the team, we want you to come off the bench. Nah, this ain't it. And I want all players to understand this is not how you go about it. You should not be transferring to 10 different schools. So anyway, um I I was very behind in school. You know, the whole north south thing. I also have an IEP. So I have ADHD. My grades through the history was basketball season, A's and B's. I gotta get these grades. I gotta play basketball. Basketball season over, season D's. My attention span was elsewhere. Again, players, don't do that. Don't be like that. Get the proper help. So I was very behind in school at CR, and I noticed it. And I'm like, I'm going back to Ashley. Like, I'm gonna flunk out if I stay here. Go back to Ashley, sophomore year, same year. End up playing. We played the Monstars, which is Hanover High School, and they had Ty, Raheem, Nick, David, Maine, Flash, all of those crazy guys. They tore us to pieces. And then that Christmas, I went to my mom's, and my stepbrother Brandon, he had a practice at Campus Community High School for Coach Mike Favor, one of my guardian angels of many that I was blessed to be coached by. And I was there in flip flops, and he was like, "Hey, we need a we need a tenth. You want to play? It's just a light scrimmage." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll give it a run." And I'm in flip flops dunking on people, and he like, "Yo, where do you live?" And I'm like, "I live in North Carolina." And he was like, "Listen, if you come to my school, I'll have Georgetown and BYU waiting for you." Now in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, right." Like, brother, no chance, not a chance. And he called me that summer of like '07, '08, and he was like, "So what you gonna do?" And I'm like, "You for real?" And he sent me the information packet, the basketball letter, all of that. And I'm like, "Oh, he not playing, so I'm out. No brainer. See ya." Because at that point, I ain't have no interest from schools. Coach Duncan was not pulling no strings for none of us. I was like, "Brother, I'm gone." And I get there, and it's kind of shock. It's still like a culture shock. This is a charter school, super small, intimate. The gym, I'm pretty sure at one point was a warehouse. So there was a brick wall with pillars, and on the other side of that, you had maybe this much room for a bench, and then that was the gym. It was a rubber floor. It was so bad we ran a press, and we used to bust people's ass with this press because the gym was so small that parents would come on the court and record the floor and then report it to the head of the state of the sports commission on why this gym should not be allowed. And they eventually, not that year, they eventually made them playing a different gym because they said it was cheating. But that team went 0-21. The year I went there, I averaged 20, 27 points, like 14 rebounds, 7 blocks, steals, assists, and he kept his word. I will, and I hope I'm gonna send him a clip of this. Mike Faber is one of the best coaches I've ever played for in my life, hands down. Players coach, take care of his people. He had us out there fundraising for jerseys. We had the best jerseys, best shoes, and if you know a charter school, they're not funding nothing for sports. So everything came out his own pocket, team dinners, everything. He helped me out a lot. Um,
We gonna make sure to clip this for you. I'm gonna make sure to clip
nah,
this.
facts. Shout out Mike Favor, man. I mean, he is the first pillar to help change my whole direction. And through that, like local teams, Caesar Rodney, one of them, were like, why the hell is he at campus? And my biggest thing was I never really cared for. I wanted a coach who cared,
Mm-hmm.
and that I think every coach, I mean every player should want that.
Mm-hmm.
Not just on the basketball side, but you as a human being. The accountability that I got from Coach Faber was monumental. It ain't matter if I was the best player on the team. Your feet getting held to the fire too. Nobody's big better than the squad. So I could respect that, and that made me want to play a lot harder for him. But the other teams they would always be like, oh, and I'm not to say them coaches didn't care about their players, but this person had the biggest effect on me. There's guys like Coach Wilson from Dover High. He's had kids get drafted. He's had a number of kids who are doing really well. My homeboy Peter is in South Africa still playing. Um, so even though he wanted me to go to his school, hey, you are welcome to come here and work out. Like we talked about previously, there was no an ample amount of gyms compared to Wilmington.
Right.
Um, and it was just iron sharpening iron. Honestly, that next year, I got caught into some youthful street situations. um, and the home life wasn't the greatest. And I ended up contacting my aunt who was in New Jersey, which to me was the best move that I could have made in my life. And matter of fact, before we get there, let me the summer of 0809, I had to decide on an AAU team. Now I've never gotten interest from AAU teams, so I didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into. But again, impersonable people, most of them were calling my phone. Whether it was Delaware Takeover, it was a Philly team that was calling me. Team Philly was calling me. Uh, a couple Jersey teams called me, but it was this one dude from Delaware, and he was like, "Hey, I want you to come over to my house." And I'm like, "All right, yeah." Like I'll pull up, and I get there, and he's sitting down. He's like, "What are you looking for?" Never had a coach ask me that outside of Mike Favor, and I'm like, "Well, I want to get recruited." Like in hindsight, delusion, which wasn't too delusional, but delusion. I want to go to Carolina. Can you do that? Because if I go to Carolina, I made it. I don't got to go nowhere after Carolina. Like I just want to go home, hoop, and that's what I want. And he was like, oh, he was honest, like I don't know about Carolina, but we can do our best. We gonna try. And he's the one who set up a structural program for me and all of my friends like minded like me, um, who put me in a predicament to succeed. He his name is Terrell Myers. He is the co-founder of We Are One. We started out as East Coast Elite, but Derek Jones Jr. used to be in the gym with us. Bones Highland was in the gym with us. Trayvon Duval in the gym with us. Like the list goes on of the individuals whose life he affected in a positive way. All of these players whom I either watched grow or grew with probably could give Terrell Myers a million flowers. And because I met him second, he is the second best coach I ever had in my life. But I call him my uncle, because when I got caught into that situation, at one point he said, "Yo, come live with me." Uh, he ain't provide me anything but a roof over my head, and he had his rules. We go to the gym, so we would be in the gym 3 days a week, and I was a gym rat. I was one of those kids. I was gonna blow my coach phone up. I want to work out. I want to work out. I want to work out to the point where he blocked my number because he like, yo, you know the schedule, cool, but you set up a program where it was you up at 6, we in the gym at 8. We go home, my friend Joe, my friend Corey, Crawford, all these guys, we go back to his house, take a nap in the basement, you get your ass back up, and we back in the gym for lunch. And then if we lucky, we probably getting some run in for dinner. That is when I seen my game turn into like, oh, I can play a multitude of levels. Like that's not an issue. So even while I'm at campus and people are telling me like, oh no, you shouldn't go there. They don't play nobody, which I can attest. They played a lot of decent, very good teams. So I met Terrell. Then I got caught into the situation. I moved to Jersey with my aunt. Kingsway Regional High School. This team was a decent team. Um, I think me coming there propelled them to a completely different level. The year before, they went to the Group 3 championship, which would have led them to states. But they ended up losing. That next season, I think they lost almost all their upperclassmen. So I want to say it was either me or one other person who was a senior on that team. And again, didn't know them from a can of paint outside of my friend Brian. And first tryout, it was clear as day that we were going to be decent. And we ended up going to the States and we lost. We lost by like 4. And I take that's my fault. I did not shoot the ball. I was out there facilitating and passing. I should have been shooting the ball more, but we lost. Um and then comes my PG year. That summer, I didn't even know where I was going to prep school yet. So I was trying to figure that out. Terrell Myers, being a St. Thomas More alumni, called his old coach. My this is Now this coach is one of the most phenomenal coaches. He's already been up for the Hall of Fame. He was in the same class as like D Wade, but he ain't gonna beat out the players. But like I could go weeks about this man. You go in his office, every kid he's ever sent to college is on his wall. Devin Ebanks, Ed Cota. I think he has the most assists of all time at UNC. Ed Cota played for him. Like a long list of players. Um, all boys school, so couldn't have no distractions as a young man, but you had to bring your ass there to work. And I ended up I drove up, we took a visit, and I'm like, absolutely. This is way better than the military school you were trying to send me to. So this is perfect. And on top of that, they got the number 1 prospect in the country. And I needed the eyes. So it all ended up working out. And that's where I met Andre. The summer at Rumble in the Bronx, we played him in the championship. He had the most ridiculous game I ever seen in my life. Like it was like, bro, he's 7 feet and he can handle the ball and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's faster than everybody. Like how we gonna guard him? We end up beating him because we were really good, but we had a really good bunch. It wasn't just 1 or 2 high major guys. It was a really good bunch of guys who could have went high major, and whether they did, or they didn't, they didn't. And then we played. Then I went to St. Thomas More that fall. Um, I want to say that was the best worst time of my life. One of them, uh, because in the preseason I'm killing. I'm dunking on everybody. Um, all of the things that I had ever prayed for and asked for was sitting right in front of me. Calipari was at our games, Patino, Roy Williams, all the coaches that everybody just drool over was sitting in our open gyms. I start getting the eyes that I want. Pitt, Clemson, Boston University, Boston College, St. John's, like all like, yo, this kid is he nice, he nice, he nice. We just got to see how he pans out in the season. Tear my groin completely off my pelvic bone. Lost any interest or scholarship I had on the table, and at that point, nobody tells you how to react, or at least told me how to react during a big injury. So I'm rehabbing, but like I'm not icing. I'm just like, dude, it's over. Like, this is it for me. He Coach Quinn has given me the choice of possibly doing another post grad year or or doing another post grad year. I believe he said it at a different school, and I'm like, absolutely not. On top of that, the tuition aside, my mom worked 3 jobs to get me through this. Like I'm not putting her through that again. So it's either a scholarship or I'm going to work. And I ended up committing to Westchester University. Took a visit. It's not far from my brother and my mom's. My brothers and my mom is real close. I'm so familiar with Philly at this point. Like I'm cool with this. This is right. This is my speed. It was a Division 2 in the PSAC, and I got my I got my letter signed to sign my letter of intent. They mailed it to me, and as I'm looking through it, it ain't nothing in there that we talked about. Speaking of my mom, she called me. It ain't nothing in there we talking about. Like we talked about full ride, this, all of this, X, Y, and Z, and they put it under financial aid, hoping that they could get me for free to free, whether it was free or not, but they didn't have the scholarship. But they waited to signing day to talk to me about this. So
Mhm.
now all the other schools that was interested, that was Division 2 or low major Division 1, have all signed at my position. What do I do? At this point, I call my coach and I'm like, yo, this is bullshit. Like, excuse my language.
Oh,
This
you
is
good? You good?
this is bullshit, man. Like how, like what? And Quinn is one of the most respected coaches in this country to the extent of he could have got me to a D1 just off of his word. He not that type of person. You gonna have to show and prove. So my big brother now, whom was my coach, Jeffrey Gore, he was recruiting me when I had early in the season when I had all these high majors, and my my Jerry Quinn, my prep school coach, was like, "There's no chance you get him. Like he's gone." And that was what I believed too. So then when I got hurt, he called and he like, "Hey, y'all got any scholarships together? I mean, any scholarships are there?" And he's like, well, we got one and we got another kid coming, but we got this one big kid we kind of waiting for. And he was like, yo, have Elijah come up there and just see him play. And he was like, Elijah? And he was like, yeah. He was like, but, and he was like, we had a little mishap. Just have him come up there on a visit and see him play. And I ended up taking a visit last minute to Southern New Hampshire University, um, which I didn't even know where the hell New Hampshire was. Like, Boston Tea Party? Like I know it's close to there. Like I don't. So
It's
all I
like
know,
it's like a
yeah. What
little
is the
up
point?
north,
Like,
small.
yo, I'm like I have no clue where that place is. But okay, I get there in May. School's over. Everybody's off campus, so it's a boring visit. Or supposed. So I thought it was gonna be. Then I met my now big brothers, Lamont Torrey Stapleton and Stephen Woods and Miguel Gonzalez. These are my closest friends that I have up here. I hold near and dear to my heart. And without them, it's a lot of things that I probably wouldn't be into or have right now. As you move places and you need a specific circle to help you get through certain situations. And those guys are amazing to me. Shout out Tori, by the way. He has a basketball program, which I think maybe you've seen. He did it with his friend Darren Duncan and Danny Green from UNC.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Between the Lines. Go check it out. That's a plug. Go check it out. But super loving, caring, and I go to the visit. I'm visiting with a kid named Alex Dobrovich, who ended up being one of my close friends as well, my teammate. And we finished working out. I was cooking Alex whole time, cooking him up. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm about to get a scholarship. Like this is a no brainer. No, did not get a scholarship. We finished the workout. I'm like, yo, he offered you? He like, yeah, he offered me. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what? Okay, okay, maybe I'm tripping. Like, all right, whatever. And we work out the next day. Still no offer. My guy Gore and Tori both talked to me like they was like, dude, like he can play 1 through 4. He can do anything on the court. But his thing was, but him and Alex are the same player. My guy Gore's like, dude, are you crazy? He's like, no. They ended up calling while I was at prep school. It was like, so we want you, and it was between them and University of Maine, which is a lower major D1. I think actually Trey he went to Harvard. He went to University of Maine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Coach Mark Wood, the head coach there now, he was the assistant coach. He recruited me in prep school. Um, and I was like, I ain't going to Maine. D1, D2, D3. I ain't going to Maine. Like that was just like way too north for me. New Hampshire up there, but that was way too north. And so I committed the same. I committed to Southern New Hampshire University. It was a great, great, great decision. It worked out for all parties involved. We won the Elite Eight regional my senior year. We held the best. Everybody trying to call me right now. We held the best. Not the best record. I want to say almost the best record. Like it was when I first entered that gym. It looked like zombie land, and by the time I left, they was turning the lights off. They had smoke machines. We was turned up. We had nationally televised games. So the effect that me and all of my teammates worked for, it all ended up working out. Now, a lot of people don't know this and they give Division 2 a lot of flack. 90, I say about 85% of the players that go to the NE10 in New England were D1 transfers, people who should have went D1 but ended up getting hurt or they didn't have the SATs at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I went in there thinking that it was gonna be some easy peasy lemon squeezy, and it was tough. It was tough. It was really really tough. Um, and from there I ended up signing to Pro Partners, which was one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. To athletes who are trying to go pro, one of the biggest things you can do is sign with a management team that believes in you and has your best interest at heart.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up going to Europe. I got a call from my guy Nigel, who's still my brother to this day. I talk to him all the time. Um, and he's just like, listen, I like you. A lot of people here they have their about it, but we'll see. Let's see how it works. And I'm like, okay. All I'm looking for is an opportunity. Um, I go to Europe. The first 2 games, trash. I think I had probably 10 turnovers because I traveled because their travel rule is completely different than here. The whole speed of the game just changes. The rules change. So I probably had like 10 turnovers, 8 points. Like it was terrible. And I'm literally looking at him. I'm talking to the president like, "Yo, just stick with me. I promise you, this is a good investment. Like I got y'all." And we had a cup game, and we ended up. I think I ended up having like 35. and I was shooting the ball better and everything. So it ended up working out to the extent I fired my agency. I got them out of there my first year, and I started negotiating my own contracts because I had people like Erica Morrow, who I told you about, my big
Mhm.
sis, who put me on game. Like was like, dude, you need to ask for this, this, and this. What you getting right now is bare minimum. You need this, this, and this, and we will always kick it and keep it 100 with each other. Her, my girl Marche Dotson, big old Florida Gator. Me and her used to train together, um, and I would just pick their brain, and they always gave me great, legitimate game, and I could never ask for any more than that. I don't want no favors or nothing. Just tell me how to get it, and I'm gonna get it. So that ended up working out. That team was fighting for relegation before I got there. The year I got there, we were in the playoffs in the top three. We ended up getting beat out by a team called Basharaj because they was cheating. They don't want to say it, but they was cheating. They had three imports, two from Dale State, who I knew, which is kind of crazy. Um, and 1 7 foot Belgian dude who was alright. So we couldn't get past them. But that's honestly, actually, that's a long story, but that's how I got to where I ended up in sports. Now I'm training my son. Um, I'm trying to get him as ready as I possibly can because he wants to play now. He just started playing last year, so we a little behind the eight ball, but we got the blueprint. We got the blueprint.
Hey, and you the blueprint with it. So
A little bit, just a little bit. It's everybody else I got around me who's really going to be a big help to him. There's guys up here like Scott Hazelton. He runs the women's program and the men's for Rivals, which Rivals you can look at Rivals and you'll see a ton of NBA players. Wayne Gabriel, who played for the Lakers, he's playing overseas now. Rivals kid. Um,
and you used to play for Kentucky. I remember you
yeah. So
Kentucky.
like, I mean, UConn, you can name it. Scott Hazelton, McDonald's All American, played at UConn, went to URI, actually ended up playing in the same country I played in. Then you got David Cooper, amazing guy. They got a program called Workhouse. They take kids and I mean, you might get 3, 4 workouts a day. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm blessed beyond measure with how my life turned out compared to what it could have been. And I do give all my flowers to all my teammates, all my coaches, um, because for a person to be able to play a game until they're 27 is rare.
Hmm.
Like that's nothing. That's not an easy situation, and it takes a lot of politics, a lot of who you know, not what you know,
Oh,
people
we
willing
know
to
about
vouch
that.
for you. You know what I
We know
mean?
about that.
So yeah, and then I mean, shout out my wife.
Hey,
Yo, I
gotta
had my
talk.
son my sophomore year of college. She could have made my life a living hell. Like,
Oh,
not to say, I mean, that's my responsibility, but she was there. School, she was working, all that. And I mean, God's grace, we still together this day, 10 years married, 15 years together. You know what I
woo!
mean?
What?
Um, so
What am I
shout
can't
out to
believe
her.
that?
Like I don't think I could give her enough flowers for that. You know what I mean?
Oh, we got a
And
tambourine for that because the
you
wife,
know
hey,
what I'm
because he
saying? So yeah, it's a big it's a big it was big. It was big to me. Like she where I am mentally right now is because of my wife.
I think
100%.
I think a lot of people like shout out to the wife. Hey, um, so I think a lot of people don't understand like how rare it is to find like that significant other that actually like support you and be there for you through
Yeah.
everything, especially in the sports where like you see a lot of like you hear a lot of like stories how like you have the money hungry people, you have ones that expect like do everything, and it's like that don't work like that. Like,
Right.
no, you gotta if you like I hear so many stories like how some people want to date athletes like, oh, you would really was like you gotta understand the schedule. You gotta prepare for this schedule. You gotta prepare like how many nights and days they're gonna have to practice, their game.
Yeah.
Like if you are willing to like if you have to mentally prepare yourself for all that because like people don't understand that
They
and
don't
it's like
understand it. And
they
you
get
gotta
that
swallow your pride a little bit when you date an athlete. Because sometimes you might be put on the back burner. Not to say it's being a negative light, but it's like I gotta go get to it. Like whether, and I mean, there are times where I hate to say it, my wife was put on the back burner a little bit, where she had to sacrifice a lot. Like when I was over in Europe, they weren't trying to let me just bring them over, so she was at home taking care of home while I was gone playing. That's not easy. But I knew she was the one. First time we kicked it, she was in the gym rebounding for me. I'm like, oh wow,
that's where you know. That's where you
oh
know.
wow, like come on, what?
It's like you want to
It's
rebound
like
for
I
me?
don't no gym. She like, yeah, let's go. She's shooting with me and like,
That's
uh,
that's when you know if they want to rebound. It's like, oh, bet. Like,
you gonna
I
rebound for
mean,
me?
because that's every. I mean, just saying that's. I just know that's every Hooper's favorite.
Yeah, come
Like
on.
you gonna rebound? Because I was here's the thing. I still see. I used to see all the time. I used to see guys, especially they'll bring their girls to like the gym and they'll play pickup, and they'll be on their like some of them be on their phone like this, but they won't be even watching. They'll be on their phone
Right.
like I'm like. I mean, if I, but
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm saying like we can hoop, and if you want me to, cool. But
Yeah.
my thing, and this leads to my question too. Like, first of all, shout out to the folks. Shout out to CJ. Shout out to Micah. Shout out to Mo. Shout out to Pat.
Thanks.
Because you know, oh,
Oh my gosh.
shout out to Twan. Because you know,
My dog.
man. Because let me tell you something too. Like the team, and it's funny how you said the Monstars, which is the Hanover team. I was like, yeah. I was like, and it was crazy because the previous year, like they won states, and a lot of people like to try to. And but my question for you is, you know, being from Wilmington, what does it mean to you to be part of that 910 hoop legacy?
Man, it's huge. It's so huge. And it was like I was so boy. I think even now, people be like, man, all you talk about is Sea Breeze and Wilmington. And I was so happy to be one of the ones to be able to expose the world to it. Like, Wilmington, what's that? Only people that know Wilmington is people who wear Jordans. And it's like, no, we got way more than just Michael Jordan. Like, and I'm about to show you. So, foot the net, and Wilmington made me a real. I was a tough individual, so it wasn't like you was just gonna say anything or do anything to me, because it was like, oh, no, we gonna take it there. We gonna get out here. We gonna take it there. At the end of the game, I would be like, oh, he is a dog. And I would call Mo and them when I first found out about Hoop Group, because we don't have Hoop Group in Wilmington. I don't even think they come down. They probably barely come to North Carolina. Shout out Mike Farley. He used to run Hoop Group, one of Terrell guys, but he always took care of me when I went. And these are exposure camps. So you're getting all these people from different states and everywhere, and a lot of them from Wilmington, North Carolina. And then everybody's like, Jordan. That's it. There's nothing. Bro, you got Nick Beckton, who
Mm-hmm.
came out of Wilmington.
Play for Virginia Tech
Played for
football.
Virginia Tech, drafted. You got David Pelham, went to George Washington, went to Memphis, killed. Ty Walker,
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest. The list goes on. The list goes on, but it's like the amount of light we don't get shed on, and that's why I'm so very proud of Quandre and Darius, because the grassroots programs that they created is the same ones that built me up, just in a different area. Those same grassroots programs are now like East Coast Elite, which transformed into We Are One, was at one point the number one Under Armour team in the country. When I was playing for them, we went to the fire to the dope tournaments, but we didn't have those kids who were getting, and social media isn't what it was, isn't what wasn't what it is now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So to be from Wilmington and to brag about it, have it tattooed across my chest, like I'm wearing the river walk. Like I'm so Port City through and through that I love being in Philly and being like, where you from? Wilmington. Where the hood? Where is that? You ever heard of Jordan? Yep. Same city. Oh, where? Y'all got hoopers down there? A whole lot of them. Did we have the program to get them up out of there to get? I don't think so. And that's the only issue. I think when I was coming up, only team that was really hitting big tournaments, and I could be wrong because I left sophomore year, but was CP3 All Stars. Them the only teams that I seen going to Florida. I mean, there was probably some in the middle of like Charlotte area, Raleigh area, places like that. But nah. And then it was cool. So prep school in the national championships playoffs, I played Hargrave. Hargrave had PJ Harrison,
Josh
had
Howard.
Des Wells. They had another kid from North Carolina, and all three of
Oh,
us.
Reggie Bullock. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. So it's like we all sitting there like, damn, we really from North Carolina. We all the way up here like playing, fighting each other, and it was cool. It was a cool situation. We beat them. We did. Whoop that belt BTA. Hmm. But Des Wells, he still. I seen him like 3 years ago, and he's like, we still should have beat y'all. I say, talent wise, on paper,
Yes.
yeah, but no, because we had a team full of pit bulls, and whether it didn't matter what state I was from. To this day, where you from? I'm from Seabreeze, Port City. Period. Europe, you can go to Luxembourg right now. If you bring my name up, they're gonna say Seabreeze or Port City. And you know what's even crazier? Oh man, Frank. Um, no, Fred. You remember Fred? Went to Hanover,
Jackson.
UNCW. Freddie.
Freddie
Freddie
Jackson.
was gonna be my neighbor in Europe, and they sent him home right before, and I could not believe it. And I took that shit so personal that they sent my dog home. Like I'm like, why did y'all send him home? And Europe is very politicky.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, he didn't want to hang out with the team. And I said, y'all sent Freddie home, which to me, when growing up, I used to call him Ray Allen. Couldn't nobody shoot that ball like Freddie.
And he played at UNCW.
And he played at UNCW, so they sent him home, and I'm like, oh, we were actually going to be teammates because I applied for the same team, but they told me no. They brought him in, and when I landed, he was on his way out. And Freddie don't even know this. I took that shit so personal that when we played them, I'm yelling out in the middle of the court, Port. I'm like, Seabury, Port City. I'm yelling out. They got a kid that they brought in from like the G League, and my big thing was like, oh, if you went to a high major G League, that shit lit a fire under me, put a chip on my shoulder. I'm about to cook the shit out you. I gave that kid 45 points. And when I went up to the coach, which is my dog, Kevin Madowski, I said, you sent the wrong player home. And he was like, huh? And then we talked about it a year later, and he was like, I didn't know. I'm like, dude, the basketball world is this big.
Mm-hmm.
This big. So to be from the port is that's I brag about that place every single day. Every day. Any college coach I talk to, any recruiter I talk to, any agent, professional who's looking for a player, I completely either I send them videos or any way I could help, yeah, they always got my favor. I love that place so much, but you know, you know how I go.
Oh yeah. We are very familiar with the politics. They show it every time. But my
Oh, for
question,
sure.
my question for you is, what inspired you to be an advocate for women's sports, especially women's basketball?
Ooh, that's a good one. Um, I wasn't into women's sports until I went to college. I was like, I had cousins who ran track. I had friends who hooped, but I think I was so caught up in like of what I was trying to obtain that I would support, I would clap, but then it was just like, all right, I'm going back to whatever I was doing, working out, whatever. But when I went to college and I actually it wasn't the separate, high schools were separated. Y'all take different buses and everything. Like we ride in the same bus in college. If I'm in the weight room getting the workout in with the trainer, she right there with me. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh wow, like y'all really be putting that work in. So now I'm up, I'm cheering, I'm supporting, and then you run into a girl. Her name was Bianca. She was from UMass Lowell. Had no business being in UMass Lowell. She should have went a high major somewhere. But the girl was hitting step back, James Harden volleyball line threes, and I'm like, I didn't know that this was a thing for real. Like, holy smoke, she got 30 and it's 10 minutes left in the half. Like, what is going on? And that is when I'm like, I'm pulling up to games, I'm pulling up to everything. And then I met people like Erica Morrow, Marche Dotson, who, like, in Europe, you don't have many American friends. So the ones you do have, oh, we supporting. And to see them who, knowing their resume, like Marche, all Ohio, player of the year, Florida, pretty sure she in the Hall of Fame. She just got inducted a few years back. Erica, McDonald's All American, University of Syracuse, killer. Like I think she might have third all time in points. Dog. So I'm seeing these women, and then we're training together, and it's like, oh wow, like it's not so far beneath. Like men. I don't know if it's masculine. It's a toxic masculinity thing, but like men, you raise like, oh, I'm a man. But when you see women getting there, like Marche is in the post with me, get me up, like just tearing me up. Or we shooting jump shots and we having competitions and she hitting just as many as I am, and I'm like, oh, what the, you know what I mean? So that lifted me up to be like, bro, nah, this needs more light. And honestly, it'd be more entertaining. Like some men get into the whole glitz and the glam of it. These women be real life, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And that raising a daughter now, I'm trying to have her come up with that grit in her. I want her to be a dog. So yeah, it was I would say it would be college. It would be early college because that was my it was more in my face than it had ever been in my life.
For sure, because I'm the same. When you invest in women's sports, amazing thing happens.
Listen, we've had debates in my college gym, and it would be dudes in there like, yo, I could go play against the UConn girls. Like speaking of Michael Porter Jr., he said, oh,
Oh
I went to
yeah,
Missouri. Bruh, stop
it,
playing on these women top like that, man.
and it's interesting how you mentioned that because he was like, "Oh, best high school team for the boys can be the 2025 Las Vegas Aces." I'm like,
No, I don't
boys are
believe it.
athletic, I get it, but if fundamentally skilled wise, the women got it. Like
Yeah.
we have to work 20, like 10 to maybe 20 times harder. A lot of them, like especially visibility. with TV rights
Mm-hmm.
as well, money, and then also payment wise, CBA issue like WNBA might be in lockout,
Yeah.
might be in lockout, but when you have say Unrivaled, which 3-on-3 league, but it's amazing. Like
Yeah.
more opportunities, and then like a lot of people don't talk about this a lot is how some of the female athletes bounce back from say giving birth, bounce
Mm-hmm.
back to play. You have Skylar Diggins, you have Allison Felix, you have say Nafisa Collier, you have Bria Hartley, De'Erica Hamby. The list goes on. How a lot of
Yeah.
female athletes come back, bounce back to play after motherhood. And that's
Right.
like a lot of people don't talk about it or even shine the light. Like,
I've even
you
I've
know
seen a
how,
girl in Europe play pregnant, and I was astounded. They was like, "Yo, she's pregnant," and I'm like, "Couldn't be me." Yeah. Yo, could that? I think people in a vast majority under underestimate the capabilities of a female body to give birth. Period. A lot of people look at it like, oh, this is just no. This could be life or death. You know what I mean? Like it's there's nothing simple about it. So for those women to come out of that battling possible postpartum
mm-hmm,
and get on a court and go get 15, 16, 20, 30, whatever.
mm-hmm.
Yo, I give women their flowers. My wife will tell you, I'm gonna give you your flowers every time. Isn't it? Women are the strongest people on this planet, and I do agree. I think very much so. The pay difference between leagues, from a business standpoint, some people can understand it, but from a compassion aspect, they overly do, like 100% overly do. For I like Asia Wilson most than more than I do most NBA players.
Let me.
Like,
It is interesting too how you say that because it's like how many people do you know? How many players you know just got a statue already at South Carolina and still playing, like and represent South. If you think about South Carolina, like say who represents the best for South Carolina hoops overall, like college wise,
you
you gonna
can't
think
say.
you cannot just say like you have it's like Asia Wilson face of it.
Period.
Also, like another thing is too, like, and it's interesting how you say that because it's like a lot of people don't remember this. I remember when there was a whole situation where Rudy Gobert skipped a playoff game or a regular season game to be with his wife giving birth. Like he's like, and I remember like a couple people like
Kicking his back in.
like Gilbert Arenas criticizing like you missing the game to be with your wife. Like you know she's fine. Like you telling a grown man she'll be fine after she giving birth, like she'll be fine.
Right.
Like you missing the game, like I'm not like the like you said,
There's
like
no
there
there's
is,
no compassion.
and it's like you never know what that woman's gonna go through, like
Right.
complication wise or like and then some, and a lot of people don't want to miss that milestone of hey being there, seeing their child for the first time,
Right.
like I said, no, it's like these days, the human decency is
Ain't
gone.
none. Ain't none. And that's why people like you, people like me, people decent people in this world, man, we gotta make sure we keep vocalizing it. Cause it ain't lost. It's still people out here who care undoubtedly a big amount. Like I love everybody. So we just gotta keep being vocal and most of all keeping God first and
Amen.
being moral, decent human beings. But that political mess that's going on right now, it kind of dims that light in a major way. So we just got to keep that light going. But I feel you on that. Like when Rudy Gobert missed that game, it was a few people that was chirping, and it's like he could be in the middle of that game and get a phone call and they say, "Yo, it's your wife or your kid." Like, you don't want to be nowhere else but in the hospital for that. Like, and it's might. I don't know if it was his first child, but I know what it was like when I had my first kid. So I couldn't imagine not being there with my wife when she had my son. Like, that's unimaginable. There's no basket. There's no amount of money that I would take to miss that. Like, no, I don't blame him one bit.
My question, and this leads to my question. You speak highly about your wife. Shout out to the wife again.
Thank you.
You speak highly about your wife and your family. How were you able to balance marriage, fatherhood, and basketball simultaneously?
That's hard. It was it was a lot of tough conversations. Like, especially before I decided to retire. Um, she came to Europe with me. And this is funny. She came to Europe with me, and the team wasn't helping outside of my coach Nigel. But I had already made friends with I made friends with a woman who worked for immigrations. So while I was in North Carolina, she was, "Oh, send me all the paperwork. I'll try to see and move it up for you and all of that." And I'm like, "Awesome." Um, and when we got news back that they weren't trying to issue her a visa with me, we're like, "All right, so how can we get her to stay?" And my coach was like, "Yo, what if she played on the women's team?" Now my wife, she played in eighth grade, blew her knee out. Tough, got a little jumper on her, but to say she was professional athlete ready, no. But anyway, we tried. I had her in that gym running suicides. I had her doing ball handling. I had her do jump shots, and it ended up being that her mother, my mother-in-law, fell ill with she had heart disease and she needed a heart transplant. So they ended up coming back, and she she was like, "I'm going home," and she said, I'm not coming back." And I was like, "Okay, like that's a tough decision." So I played the rest of that year and another year, and then while I was going away, my son started showing signs of, like, me not being around was causing an issue. Whether it was night terrors, he couldn't sleep through the night, so on and so forth. So I told his mom, like, "How would you feel if let's just see how he can hold up while for the summer? Like, I'll come home this summer. Let's see how he does." I had already signed a contract to go back to play for my old coach Nigel, for a different team, and I went grocery shopping. And when I came back, he was having the he was having a panic attack, and he has asthma. So he's like breathing through a bag. I'm like, "Dude, what's up? Like, what's wrong with you?" He's 5 at this point. He's like, "I thought you left me again." And that was when I knew. I was like, "Yeah, it's up. It's over. Like, I can't. I'm not about to tear my kid to pieces over a game." Not to say basketball is just a game, because it was literally my life. I played from when I was 2 till I was 27, um, and poured all I could into it. It was hard having to deal with both home and being far away with basketball and trying to keep the structure together. It is superbly challenged. I 100% give credit to my wife. My end was easy. I just had to hoop, get the money, send the money home. She had to feed the kid, go to work, take care of the household, do literally every single thing. And I've had my kids without my wife for a week or two. Hell no. Hey, if I told her, if I was you, I'd have called me and told me, "Listen, it's up, it's over, it's cool, bro." Like, and that's why, honestly, my overall goal, if you talk to people who I grew up with, all I ever wanted to do was play basketball in Europe. I didn't want to go to NBA. I wanted to travel the world and get paid while I did it.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Meet people, network, whole kit and caboodle. So the fact that I was even able to do it for 2, 3 years that I did,
Mm-hmm.
to me was, and I didn't get sent home. People were begging me to come back, but I'm not choosing that over my family. Like my family is my everything. I do everything that I do now or then was for them. So I give 100% credit to my wife. She could have been like, I'm done. I'm cool. You can stay there. You can do you. All of that. But she held stance very firm. I guess she loved me. I did something right. Hey, because I know I'd have been going through it if the shoe was on the other foot. Oh, listen, probably boohoo calls. I miss you. I need you. Like, you need to come home. Kid drive me crazy.
And it leads to my question, as a black man, a father, and an athlete, how important is mental health to you?
Mental health is mental health should be on everyone's top priority. I go to therapy. Me and my wife, I got into therapy because of my wife. Um, the first time she met me, she was the first one of the first people that I've ever been around that asked me, looked at me, and was like, "Are you okay?" And when I first met her, my freshman year of college, first weekend, my brother was murdered. Um, so I had every excuse to crash out and not continue on the path. But my mom looked my coach in the eye and said, he is not to ever come home. Because she knew what I was going to do. So he is to not ever come home. I remember my coach asked me, "Are you going to play today?" And she answered for me and was like, "Yep." My mental health at that point had deteriorated. I dibbled and dabbled. I drank a lot. Like, my depression was, and that ain't including the stuff from being from Wilmington. You know what I mean? Like that home life back there. My depression levels were extremely high, and at that point, I met my wife. Um, like the first week of school, but it was one day we was at a party, and I had this thing. Me being depressed, I would chug an entire bottle of liquor. Like I wouldn't leave no room. I would just literally chug an entire bottle and just kaput. And she grabbed it and she was like, "Yo, are you okay?" Nobody ever asked me that. And I'm like, "Actually, I'm not." Like, it's funny you say that. Moving forward, up and down roller coaster. Um, there was a woman named by the name of Louisa. She was our cultural, I call her the cultural president at SNHU. Why? Because it wasn't many black people there. God rest her soul. She passed away through cancer, but she was the second person, and she was one of the ones who kind of was my therapist. She had a background in it, and I had got in trouble again, and she sat me down and she was like, "What's going on with you?" And I broke down into tears. I'm like, I'm popping pills, like I'm drinking alcohol. I don't think I'm ever sober. And X, Y, and Z, this is why. And she sat there and she cried with me. And fast forward, my wife was like, "You need therapy." And I understand, like now, one of the worst things a man can do is to constantly attempt to be strong without a support system,
Mm.
especially a black man. We have to do things such as code switching. Um, we have to dumb our personalities down in a sense to be able to have people assimilate to us or understand us. Um, and that is very rare. And then you have the stigma of the black man who learned early on, and you probably heard this in women saying, "Oh, he talk white." Like, what is
Oh
talking?
God, yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody who's more educated, or you know what I mean. So it's either a battle against your own people, or it's a battle against everybody else. So I believe that mental health is the biggest reason why a lot of people fall short or a lot of people are successful. The better you are mentally, and I'm not saying go to therapy and cry and do all of that. I mean, yeah, do that. But therapy shows you the biggest tools that you can use in any given situation. It is a way for you to be heard, to possibly understand all angles of how you are the way you are or why you are the way you are. Um, and I think that was a battle I had most of my life up until going to therapy. Um, just being, I just, to me, it was like, you got to be tough. Like, toughen up. It'll be better. Like, you know what I mean? And that's not the case. That's not the case.
I mean, that's real, like for real, man. You know, I used to hear that, and I feel like I still hear that whole stigma, like when if you hear a black person speak educated, they speak white. It's like no, like
Bro, not at
they
all.
educated because they want to be like the
Right.
whole speaking white thing is like I know a lot of white folks that don't speak educated.
Hello?
You see, I mean, I ain't go like a lot of people ain't ready for a conversation. I hear a lot of it in the news.
Hello? It's
Like,
just
but
like,
you know, folks ain't ready for that
right, ain't
conversation.
ready for
I'm
that
like,
conversation yet.
I get to like, and it's interesting because I had gotten told the whole like, yes, I am on the autism spectrum. I get told all the time, like, you don't look autistic. I'm like, it is a spectrum. Like, there's no look to it. And
Right.
to me, whenever I hear that, like, and like I said, like I remember I hear that a lot, and I think to me it's like similar to like I could be wrong. It's similar to telling, say, a person of color that they talk white to me because it's like, or oh, you sound articulate, and I could, like I said,
Right.
I could be wrong in that comparison, but I mean, it's like you can't like you can't generalize like a specific how a person's supposed to speak specifically like, or
Exactly.
you can't generalize how a person's supposed to look
Right.
like. And I was like, this is what's wrong with this is what's wrong with people.
No, for real.
Like,
But
I,
that, I think a lot of that also comes from experience. A lot of these people do not get outside or outside of their circles. They do not search for the knowledge. They do not read. Like, they're when when people say people come in all different shapes and sizes, colors, that is 100% facts. Some people aren't intelligent enough, which I'm not knocking it like you, but especially on the spectrum side of things, up until I want to say like 3 4 years ago, people started actually trying to understand it, and it's because people don't interact with other individuals. Like, everybody's in their phone, everything is like right here, right up front. You know what I'm saying? So it just it really grinds my gears for real. It pisses me off, but
they do
I
like
ain't gonna get my feelings about it. But no, yeah, that's heinous. That's crazy as hell.
it,
Nobody's just,
it's it's wild. Like I was like, man, I have to educate people a lot, and then it's like it's like 29 years living it, and like, come on now, like
yeah.
y'all should be not only aware about it, but I mean, if like I said, like
And you know what? Ashley, keep educating. Somebody,
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best because Lord have mercy. Like I'm doing my best because uh, like people say ignorance is a bliss. I'm like, look, ignorance is a disease. let's get that out
Oh,
the way.
that's a fact.
Let's get that out the way. But
That is
but folks ain't ready for that conversation. It's too deep for it.
nah. That's a fact.
Like
They ain't ready for that combo.
it's like my
Yeah.
question for go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead and finish your statement because I was
No,
like
I was gonna say. I find bliss in knowing. Like ignorance is a bliss, sure, for people who are scared. I, for one, ain't scared. If I can know everything, I want to know everything because I like to forecast and see things coming before they get here. History repeats itself, and that is a true statement.
we witnessing it in this
Right.
country.
Literally. You are
So
true.
like, we witness it in this country, unfortunately. But my question for you is if there was a word or phrase to describe your journey so far, what would it be?
Mm. I would say perseverance. If you asked me this 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, I probably would have said resilience. But perseverance would probably describe me as a and my story as a whole. Um, you know how hard it is to come from where we come from and to be able to be successful. As much as I love my my sports story, I love the people I met on my journey way more. So, and those people are a part of me persevering through a lot of tough times. A lot of times I could have gave up. A lot of times I could have said, you know what, this ain't for me. Um, so yeah, I would say perseverance.
Well, let me get my tambourine for it because that is so true, man.
I
I just want to say shout out to somebody that's a huge supporter of my podcast. They blessed me with this unexpectedly because I was like, I always like had my little fan, but I was like, you know what? Instead of my little paper fan, this is
Yeah, get you a little tambourine. That's some hey, that's some southern. That's you know what you got to do with that
man,
tambourine. I done been
man.
to church up here so many times. I ain't heard one tambourine.
If you know, like where
Right.
that came from. So my question for you is: so bona fide means authentic and unique, but for the man, the authenticity. So what makes Mr. Elijah Bonsignore authentic, and what makes your story stands out?
Um. That's a good question. Um. I am. What makes me authentic is me. I am me through and through. I am. If you see me, you see a generation of my people. Um, I'm very proud of where I come from, and I take super duper pride in that. I I don't really sugarcoat because when people talk to me, I really want them to understand who they're dealing with. Um, and I guess that would be it. Like anytime somebody asks about me, I'd imagine it is one, he from Seabreeze. Two, he's crazy, but in a good way. Like he's crazy in a good way, and yeah, I think that is what makes me me. Like I'm Wilmington Port. Like to me, it don't get no tougher. I've been in some of the ugliest cities, and this is like, nah, bro. I'm from Seabreeze. I'm from Port City. Like it don't get no realer than us.
Like folks don't understand you had to get out of the mud. Like coming if you it's so rare to get out of Wilmington. Just because like there are some people that will try to pull you back in
Yeah,
and it's like coming out of Wilmington, like if you make it out of Wilmington, like just stay there. Like
nah,
just
facts.
stay there.
And it is, and I don't want to paint it a picture of it being a terrible place to be from, because it's not. Like,
Right.
every place has their bullshit. Let's keep it a buck. I've lived so many places: Jersey, Philly, Delaware, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, now Rhode Island, North Carolina. I done been up and down the East Coast. And one thing I will say is, um, it's a hard place to get up out of. But one thing about us is, once we do sniff that success, oh, we 10 toes down and we running through walls. And it ain't too, it don't matter. Oh, we sniff it that one time. We chasing. We going. Some places that I've lived, it's like, oh, and they just complacent. Us, if you give us a helping hand, one, we gonna bless you tenfold. But two, we got it out the mud. Like, we gonna get to it as hard as we can. You looking for somebody, and that's why, like I said, I send these coaches videos. I don't even know some of these kids, but I know where he from, and I know what he gonna bring to the table. So whether it's BJ posting kids from Laney, whether it's Quandre posting his son over at what is the
Oak City
school?
Prep. Oak
Oak
City.
City Prep, or anybody. I'm trying to shed light, because why? If you look at me and you can respect how I came up, where I came from, as far as basketball wise, and what I brought to the table, all these kids gonna do that. Probably then some.
Mm-hmm. Amen for sure. Mr. Elijah, can you let the folks know how they can support and follow you? Any happenings coming up?
Um, I don't I don't have any happenings or any goings of onses, but and I don't, like I said, oh, my Instagram is down. But I will take this time to shout out my homeboys. I love supporting all my people. So if you get an opportunity, click this up. Between the Lines on Instagram. Lamont Torrey Stapleton is a co-founder, my big brother, awesome individual, and what he's doing, especially from where we come from, as far as friends we've had who have become incarcerated, he's bringing them a feeling of hope, a feeling of joy. They're going back to these places of these sometimes forgotten men, and are open up avenues for them to be able to enjoy brotherhood through sports. They have a basketball program. I even have to go out there at least once or twice, because I want to be able to hoop with some of these fellas. They out there giving it up, trying to. But Between the Lines is an awesome program that him his and his two friends started. Who else? I'm wearing my boy Justin the night shift. He made me a River Walk sweatshirt. Another guy, awesome individual. We got True Grit for my brother Miguel Gonzalez. The list, I could be here all day for all my homeboys, so I'm gonna stop there. And shout out Andre Drummond, man.
Shout
We
out to
back.
Andre.
We still outside, huh? We still outside. Keep hooping, big dog.
Man, his 3 pointer is gotten better. I'm like, oh,
Come
he should.
on. You know what's crazy? I used to tell people, I'm like, bro, y'all don't understand. Not only did he dunk on us all the time, but he would shoot the ball from the volleyball line. You'd be like, I ain't about to make that shit. And it would not touch the rim. It hit all net. My first introduction to Andre, thought, you seen Coach Carter. Instant Ty Crane moment. I'm like, what the fuck? So we get the tip. And we had a kid, 6'11", he was going to Pitt. Um, and I cut and ended up, I did like a V cut, came back out. When I came back out, Andre jumped from the paint to the 3-point line into the pass lane, stole the ball, handling the ball down the court. My point guard, Mark Medley, he went to Rider University in Jersey, swipes. Andre wrapped the ball around his back and monkey dunked it. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Come back down. AJ English. He was up for the
Oh.
Naismith Award. That's my
Mm.
dog. AJ English, that's another one who we was in the gym all day together. He went to St. Thomas More after I did. But AJ English, he had the game of his life that game. And he ended up coming down, knocking a three down. And then I remember they brought the ball up, and I'm looking at Terrell like, bro, how you want us to guard him? And he like, Malcolm, you take him. Malcolm goes up to guard him. As a matter of fact, give him a step, give him a step. And Dre shot that thing from so deep. And I'm like, there's no way in hell he about to make this. And cash. And I looked at Malcolm, I said, hey, we might lose. Because this is different. And we ended up beating him. Ended up winning. Matter of fact, I'm gonna rub this in his face. He remember? Yeah, I still got the plaque. we end up beating him. And that was my introduction to Andre. And after that, we became tight. We became real close in prep school. Because when you there, you ain't got no family. All you got is your brothers. And I will say, though it was the toughest time, that was the best time I ever had. But
Man.
yeah, man.
Shout out to Andre Drummond.
Shout out
So
my boy.
y'all be sure to check out the live replay of Bonafide podcast featuring Elijah Bonsignore.
Yay! Let me
Yes.
get that tambourine again.
Oh yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Now be sure to check out the live replay of Bonafide podcast episode 208 featuring Elijah Bonsignore. Y'all can check out the live replay after this. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.
Thank you, everybody.